Okay, that's good. That's good. That's तो तूने थियर में दो जीत लिए 89 extra 100. Very good evening, people. Is everyone back or we need to wait? Am I audible to everyone?
Hi, you are audible. Good evening.
Thank you. How about others? Is everyone back? Kushal, Arnab, Kaushik?
Yes, I'm here. Yes, I'm here.
Thank you. How about others?
Yes, Pala. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right. I hope that everyone got a good hands-on with respect to understanding the Linux commands. So had any challenges understanding the concepts? It's pretty easy, right?
I had one question. Could you elaborate on what ls-d does?
ls-d. Okay. Any other questions? Any other questions? Okay, all right. So basically, when we execute ls, it prints out the complete list. That's a ls, and -d is the directory. So as we do l, right, -l or -ll, which returns us or gets us back the complete list of directories and folders. Similarly, if we want only the directories that is available in our machine, we can use the -d.
Okay, because in the lab I tried to create via mkdir, and then when I did ls-d, it didn't really work.
What was the return statement it was throwing?
It was just not showing anything. When I did ls-d, it was just blank.
Sure, because it should have written dot at least.
Wait, I can just check. Maybe it was like I was in the wrong directory or something like that. I'm not sure.
Okay. That's fine. You can try it out. That's absolutely fine. You can experiment many more features that is available in LS.
Okay.
So, okay. Let's start with understanding the bash script. Okay. So coming to the bash script, again, bash script is one of the traditional approach of writing the script to automate the, or let's say building an application base. Okay. So it is generally like we started with let's say like con, then bash, then we move to the YAML script, which is a YAML file. So we'll discuss on the YAML file in the later stages, but we'll look into the bash script, like how exactly it has been written, why it is written. And also understanding the bash script, we need, or let's say like we require some coding language, like the basics one, like understanding the for loop or understanding while loops, operators, arithmetic operators, conditional operators, like this. Okay. Let me just share my screen. Able to see my screen?
Yeah.
So about bash, again, it is a Unix shell. So where we will be passing some commands, we call it as a bash command, and we write it to run an application for on the Linux platform. And whatever the commands that we write, right, we will write in a file. So that file we call it as a bash script or a bash script file. okay, which generally will run on the Linux terminal. So we will be covering like the scripting basics, the operators, conditional statements, as I said, like no if else if such kind of statements. We have the loops. We'll be looking into while loops, for loop, and so more. We'll be understanding the bash strings, functions, arrays, and file operations. So understanding this will be taken in depth by tomorrow. So today I will be giving an introduction like how to write a bash script and how to execute it and what is the purpose of this. Okay, so let me begin with just go to here. Okay, so starting with we'll create a bash file. So let's say what are the different editors that we can choose?
Vim, Nano, Gedit.
Yeah.
Gedit, yeah, sorry.
So which is the better one like we can choose?
I think last time you told Nano was the
Nano is the better one, I feel.
Yeah, so I'll be using Nano again. Let me just choose Nano and let's say .sh. So any shell script file we need to end with a extension of .sh. Okay. Now within the shell script, so to begin the execution path, so we have to make use of the hash, then exclamatory mark, then pros, then we have to /bin/bash. So basically what is this is, it is the executor, or let's say like, through which our files will start executing. So if we don't provide this, the shell script or the file will not execute. Instead, it will throw an error or give some no line of commands is missing, something like that. So we have to make use of the hash exclamatory mark, then /bin/bash. Okay, so let's start with the basic commands. So I will say echo. So echo is a complete parallelly, I can say, printing a list of sentence or a word. So I'll say echo. Okay, this much is enough. And so if I execute this file, it is going to print welcome to Amadeus scripting automation, and it will print Amadeus August 2021 patch. Okay, let's just check that. So, and also if I want to execute this, we have to say /, then the file name. Okay, not sudo. So I'll just go to sudo. What? Okay, let me just provide the permission for this. But the executor permission still read write. So let's say.
But when you're doing sudo, shouldn't it overwrite the file permissions?
No, basically sudo means it is just like allowing the person to execute the file. So if I look into the permission of this, it is just a read format. You can see this is
Okay,
just,
I understood. Okay, got it.
so first we have to change the permission. We can see like welcome to Amadeus scripting and automations and Amadeus. So even like very relatable example is like before this we are not able to execute, right? So if we install any tools or something like, any application in our Windows machine. So during the, when we click on the exe file, it will ask for the administrative access, like, allow this application to run, like yes or no, it will be coming. Had anyone observed it?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically the same thing here. Like when I say sudo, it is like I'm allowing the script to execute. Okay, so let's go to the file again. Okay, so let's work on this. Let's say right now I'm going to create some variables. Okay, so we can also use variables inside the shell script. So let's say like I will declare the I with 0, and also I will work on the array part. I'll say array is currently empty, and let me use while loop also. So while read of I. Observe this, whenever we are providing spaces, it's like if we don't properly indent, let's say if I press tab, okay, it will take complete space, like 8-bit spaces has been taken. Instead of that, we have to make use of the spacebar because we need only 2 spaces after the any indentation for writing a file. Okay, let's say array of I. This should be $I. So of $I is I while read -l line. Okay. Now again, why we are passing this dollar is if I have defined, let's say like here I'm saying line, right? So this is like a variable name. So for this variable name, any value that is going to be set, that will be fetched. So this is like a variable name. Okay, whenever we define dollar with that. Okay, increase the array value. So I will say I plus plus. Everyone have worked on the for loop, right? At least I guess everyone would have worked on it. EC batch.
Not in shell script though. I think it's
C, C++, in Turbo C, anyone, anything that you have worked on.
Yeah.
I guess for electronics, EC,
Yeah.
this one microprocessor concept was there. Have you guys had the microprocessor concept? EC?
Yes, we are familiar with for loops, while loops, and do while loops. Yeah.
Fine. Let's say I'm done with this. So do till like, increment each line and I'm done. So till this becomes LT. Okay, so this is just a for loop. It is expected. Okay. Okay. For loop, I'm going to use, it's like a function for function in the array. Again, I need to use the dollar. And since it is an array, I'm going to pass it within the brackets. Okay, this time I need to pass it as a of @ Okay, so this is just an example of using the creating a variable and initializing it with 0 And if I want to work in the shell script by using the arrays, I can initialize the array with an empty. That is, it can be an indefinite value. Then I have just used a while loop here. This is one of the looping statement that I can use, like while read the number of lines. For this, do like check the current number of lines. How I don't have any file with respect to ls. I just created a dummy.
Can you explain while read -r line? So
Yeah. This one is like it. If let's say like if I have a file, so in that file I might have like 150 characters, or let's say like 200 characters.
Mhm.
Okay. So what it will do is it will read each character in that. That is what it is doing here. In that specific line, for each I, it is going to like if it finds like first character, it will add here. That's a $I. Each time it is going to increment. The I value is getting incremented, and that number of line will be printed. How much it is there.
Okay.
Okay. So that is what I'm trying to do here. So while read the -r line. So line is like an object. So that's why I'm passing it as a variable here. Then once it is done, I'm just creating one more for loop. So for loop is like, iterating within the loop. So for complete array, it's just finding the function. So it has to print that function. Okay. So
Bala, can you explain that again, please?
which one?
The while loop only.
Okay. While read. Make. Now let's say this is my file. Okay. So while read the complete file, so what are all the the number of characters that is available in this file that I need to print it in my console or in my display. Like each time it will go from the starting, how many number of lines that is available, like the characters, then it will print that. Understood?
So basically, we're printing the number of characters in each line, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Just give me a minute. Okay. Just sorry, I was speaking on mute. So I was telling why we need the shell script is we have. So basically, like in real-time example, we will be working on different tools. Like let's say for an example, we will be working on the Nexus, the Docker, the Jenkins, and many more tools. So most of the tools are like, they have a dependency of one is the Java, okay, that is the JDK versions. And second is everything is on a Python based. That means like the library that has been built upon is Python. Okay. So now what is more relatable here is the first was the shell script, which is used to, there was a dependency for the Jenkins or any other tool. Now later they found that, the Python is more much faster compared to the shell script because it will take a lot of time to code it. Like as you can see in this example itself, just to write like, this list of line instead in Python, what we happen is like we will just write 2 line of code instead of writing this many lines. Like for loop will be in 1 line, for while loop it will be in 1 line. Okay, so you will be learning that in the next phases that you will be understanding. For now, understand that we can use with respect to shell script, we can pass a variable, we can do the conditional statements, we can do the what I can say like normal printing statements also. Okay, so far able to understand?
Yeah, I think we're not exactly familiar with the shell scripts, so the syntax
Mhm.
is a little new.
Okay,
Other than that, it's fine.
we'll do one thing. We'll execute one more. So this is mandatory. The first line is very mandatory. That is the hash not exclamatory slash bin slash bash. Okay. So let's work on the variables part first. One by one, we'll work on it. Okay. Variable is like we are going to define some key, and for that we are going to assign a value. That's a variable. So similarly, let's say that I'm going to take a variable called number, and I'm going to assign this number with a value called 10. Okay, so if I want to print what is the value of this number is, so I will just say echo dollar num. So you guys are like, you have a familiarity with the pointers in data structure or C++, might the concept pointer is there.
Yeah, we have pointers.
Right. So in pointer, what we will be doing, like if it a is equal to 10, let's say like a is equal to 10, then ampersand, what's it? Ampersand a, right? To find the value of it. I'm not much familiar on the C++ part or the coding part, but I believe this is the logic behind it. Similarly, here I'm saying number value is equal to 10. So if I'm going to print what's the value of this, I will be using echo and dollar. So I haven't made the permission. Okay. Command not found. Why is that? So I have defined the number, the variable, and the value is equal to 10. So I'm getting the 10. So if we start working on the the different variables, let's say like if we are working on here, let's say characters. Let's check ch is equal to see. If it is a character, we have to put it in a single quote. If it is a string, that is a complete sentence, we have to put it in a double quotes. it, that is equal to C. So if I say echo $ch, you can see the variable value is getting printed, that is C. Similarly, as I said, for string, and we'll provide two more. Let's say this is for the string, and we'll work on array. So for string, anyone have any idea what is the the data type that we have to pass? Like for an example, integer, we pass int as a data type. So similarly, what for string, what should be the data type?
Array of characters, is it? No.
Yeah, it is an array of characters. I'm asking, like for integer, we have int as a variable. For the float, we have f, like float as a variable. Like for double, we have the double, like that. For string, anyone have any idea like what should be the variable for it? I guess you all might have also executed based on this. There's a program I believe in during your graduation time. Have anyone worked on the concatenation part, like swapping the value or concatenating? You guys had labs also, I believe. STR? Remember? Okay, fine. So str is a variable name that can be used for the string. So I will say string. Hello, engineers. Fine. So I'll say str, this value is equal to this, and echo $str. So this will print the value that I'm going to store it here. Similarly, for array, let's take ARR is equal to 90. So here I will say it's a bash script, and let's say bash shell and script. Okay, so this is a one value, this is the second value, this is the third value, that is a of 0, a of 1, a of 2. Okay, so array is equal to these values. Now, if I want to say echo, what's the command or in arithmetic operator, or like if I want to return a of 0, what is the command that I need to pass?
Square bracket 0.
Okay, just observe this above one and tell me.
$R of 0 probably list index. I don't know how to index in shell. Yeah, this 0. Yeah.
Yeah. So since it is an array, what I'm going to do is I will put it in a square brackets. That's whenever we return a value, we have to put it in a square bracket. So I'll say, sorry, flower presses. Okay, let me just copy paste it for the other.
Why do we have to do this? Why, like,
Which one? This one, the square.
putting the curly bracket?
Okay, curly bracket is for returning the values. To be very specific, we might have written, see, username and password are very critical, correct?
Correct.
So if we have written, let's say if you are writing some script, okay, automation script, which it is expecting Git credentials.
Okay.
So in this time, we cannot directly pass the username and password. Okay, so what we will be doing is we will be creating a separate folder such as like Vault. So within the Vault, we'll be providing the username and password, which is not accessible to the outside or let's say other entities. So here we might have defined like ABC and password is like CDF, something like this. Now, if I want to access, let's say this is my config file.
Bala, we cannot see your screen. We can just see the terminal.
Oh,
Shell terminal.
just a minute. Sorry. Able to see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay, I was saying username and password are very critical ones. So we should not pass this directly because one might get an access to the username and password and do some modifications. So instead of it, in my, let's say like we are writing an automation script that is a configuration file. So in that configuration file, the requirement is we need to pass the username and password. So instead of passing it directly, so we'll create one more folder called Vault. This is like a storage space where the username and password is encrypted, like stored as an encrypted value. Okay, like it is also secured already, but still we want to keep it as in a separate folder. Now, if I want to access the value that I'm passing here, so what I will say in my config file is name. I'll just say password. And I will say path is equal to this path. Okay, so basically what happens through this configuration file, it will try to analyze this path. So it will go to this folder. It will check for the username and password. So if it is existing, it will take that value. Able to understand this much?
Yeah.
Should I repeat it?
So one second. So basically, you said that okay, it's at a different place. Username and password are in a different folder.
Now,
Right.
if I want to fetch the value of this username, I will just say username within the flower braces. So what it actually does is it will try to find the value of this in this particular path or in the particular file.
Understood. Yeah.
Okay, the same thing that what we are doing here also. That is okay. I'm sorry for that. That is, I'm trying to say get the value which I'm passing here. Got it?
Yeah.
I will just copy this. Okay, this is with respect to array, and this is with respect to string, characters, and number. So this is all about the variable. So we can work on much more on this. Like we can write a complete file where the variables been included, for loop, while loop, and much more. So I'll just execute this. We'll see. It's taking bash. Yeah. Oh. Okay, it is not taking. Okay, this is not working. Basically, it should have worked. Like it has to take the value. Okay. Just say that is not the right format. Just this is what happens with respect to shell script. Sometimes we have to dig more. Let's check this. Returned me the value. It's not taking the. Fine, will work separately on the arrays part, but basically this has to be the syntax. Like we have to pass the array, and if you want to fetch the value, we'll be passing this array of 0, array of 1, and array of 2. Mm, uh, have any idea about the global variables and the local variable? Okay, let me just put it in simple way. Global variables are such a case. Let's say that we have a file, Java file, okay, and within that we might be reusing the same variable multiple times. So what we are going to do is we will be defining it in the outside. So like PSP means public static void main. So I'll say this is my class called test. So if we declare any variable, sorry, we have math. Like if you're going to work on the pi values, something like that, we can directly use the library that is a math library, and also we can say int is equal to 10. We can define it globally and we can reuse it any, like if we have some methods like get user by ID. I'm just giving a structure of this. So we can define the variable here. So this is like a package. So let's say this is a package. And this is my function, or let's say this is my Java class, which will start like with the name of test. And this is a variable which I'm going to define 10. And I'm saying user, get the user from the database and using the ID and get an user by the mail. So I'm just passing the public static void main to execute this. Let's say like I'm going to say again int is equal to 20 here, 10 here again, and let's you can remember like executing this. In this we have some concepts called global variable and local variable. So what I'm trying to teach here is like we have a concept of using the local variable within the shell script also. So let's just example of it. Local variable dot sh. So let's create the bash variable first. That is shell equal to Unix. This is the value. Okay, and I will call a function as we did for the previous Java program. So I will say function call. So here I will say bash shell and open close. Let's create a local variable. So I'll say bash local variable. So the local variable can be, let's take bash itself. So Unix bash it might. And so let's say a local, sorry, it's a global variable I'm reusing that same inside my function call. So this becomes a local variable. So I'm saying shell and then passing different value here. So I'll say this is bash. Okay. Now if I say echo dollar shell. So tell me what is the expected output of this? I guess this is very simple one. I'm just created two variable. One is a global variable and one more is a local variable, and I have passed a value for it. So if I say echo shell, echo dollar shell inside the function call, what it will return. And if I say outside the function call, like echo dollar shell, what it will return for these two.
It will return Unix for outer shell, right?
Okay.
And for the inner, it will return bash.
Okay. Okay, let me put few more lines. Let's say like a bash shell here. Again, I will say echo dollar shell. Now, as I said, the
Unix,
first one is
yeah.
correct, like the Unix. So
Bash.
But since it's a local with definition inside bash shell, it should still be Unix, right, or not?
no. So why I will tell. So first it is going to execute this. Okay. Then we are calling the bash shell, which is a function call. Okay. So here what it will return bash. Again, I'm going to call echo dollar shell. That means the global variable. So it will return again Unix.
Okay, so it will return Unix, right? Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah. Basically understood this flow.
Could you just execute it once and show us?
Sure. Okay, before that, I have to. Okay, number 7. Syntax error, expected token local. Okay, I've written. Let's remove this. Um, There was a syntax error. So if you can see here, first it is going to call the global variable, that is the Unix, then the local variable, that's a bash, then the again global variable Unix.
What was the syntax error?
The flower braces, which was starting adjacent to the bash shell. So there should be a space here.
Space. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
It is very case sensitive. Like as I discussed in the morning, the bash script is very case sensitive. Even if you add one extra spaces also, it will create a huge error and we might not debug it very easily. Okay, so far this one is this one understood, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's work on the command line arguments. This is the working on the variables. We started with working on variables like the initializing the value. Then we go ahead with the functions. Now let me just explain the command line arguments. Basically, command line arguments are like passing the value. So let me just create one. Sudo echo hello $1, something like this, and I will say echo like your place $2. And I will say to learn $3. This is $4. Okay, can one of you tell me, like, just go through this. If you understood something, let me know. Any idea? Let me give a small example. Let's say like, hello username. We like your place like India. So thanks for showing interest to learn some concept on this. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Can you repeat?
It's like through the command line, we are going to pass the value for this $1, $2, and $3, $4.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Okay, and why I'm not passing the $0 is basically within the shell script. By default, it is the username which I have logged in. Okay. Okay, currently it is not taking here. Okay, directly it is getting executed. Let me just. Okay, fine. Let's say dot slash. Let me just pass the value through the command line. So we'll say command so to take this is okay. I'm saying $1, $2, $3, and $4. Hello, Akshat. We like your place, India. And thanks for learning, showing your interest in learning the bash script, the command line argument. Understood this part?
Yeah.
Okay.
What is the limit on such arguments? Like how many?
And there's no limit.
Oh, there is no limit. Nice.
Yeah. So basically, like you can have a limit. Like if you're specifying here in this file, like this, I have just defined only this many lines, right? Like $1, $2, $3. So that much only I can limit for this particular file. If there's something like hundred thousands, there's no limit. You can go
Okay, and what if I pass less than it? What will be the default value?
less than it. Less than it is not going to take because $0 is the by default the username, the current username.
No. For inside I've used till $4, but outside I only pass 3. Like I pass Akshat India and bash script.
It will just take how much wherever the value that you have passed. Like let's say you have just passed it till here.
Mhm.
Okay, so it is going to execute till here. Like hello, Akshat. That's it. Or like say hello Akshat, I like your place India. Then it will not display this bash script and command line argument.
Okay. Yeah.
So see,
Understood.
it is
Yeah.
going to take empty here.
Got it.
Okay. So yeah, we have done that also, right? So let's go with the one more which we have not done. That is, let's say command line 1.sh here. So that is $0. Okay, so I'll just say echo. Here, let me just pass some like dollar hash arguments have been script by $0. Or let me just add this to the existing one. So instead of wasting here. So So dollar hash shows that arguments have been passed. Okay. Let's check without just what is that? Bash and command line. What it is going to print. So basically we have 4 arguments that have been passed by the script. It's not taking, it's just currently mentioning the command line.sh. That was the file name that we have passed. But how many arguments that we have passed here? 4 only, right? Yeah, dollar hash. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. So currently it is displaying the what is that? The file name here. It is not taking. It's just command itself. Okay, this would be fine. So Akshat, India, learning bash, which is a command line argument. So basically we have passed 4 arguments. That is the dollar hash. So 4 it will take, then to the script by command line.sh. Okay, it is taking the file name. Usually previously it used to take the user, that is a current user, but right now they have changed it. Till here everyone understood? Okay, this might, you might also have to work on this, then you can understand even better. Right. But still, like, got an overview over the shell scripting?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me just continue with the same script. I will just add few more argument lines. So I'll say echo. And here I will say that 30th argument is dollar. So I can also do this. Simply. That is, if I want to, explicitly say what is the first argument, what's the second argument, what's the third argument, because we might have passed multiple arguments in some of the cases. So if I want to identify some specific the argument, I can just pass it as a command in this. Okay, so that's all about the command line arguments. So any doubts so far?
What did you explain in the last one? I didn't get that.
Okay, so here I have just written 4 argument list, right? Like hello $1, $2, $3, $4, and just what is the file name and etc. Now, like this, there might be a shell script which have thousands of lines. Okay, and I want to identify, or let's say like I want to check what was the first argument that has been passed, or let's say like what was the 50th, or let's say like in between like 1 to 100 some value I need to check. So I can just say this is just a sentence. I will just pass this dollar and the argument value like 10, 20, 30, 100, anything like that. So basically what it will do is it will print that value, like what was the argument that has been passed for this respective, like the argument.
But that's the exact same thing as doing just $1, right? What's the difference?
That's what I said. Like this is first argument. This is not mandatory. This is just like a sentence. So $1, what I'm mainly focused on.
Okay. Okay.
So, but why have we put the curly braces?
Yeah.
Curly braces.
I mean, why can't we just write, $1 again?
Okay, you're saying that why can't we use just a $1, right?
Yeah, $1 again. Yeah, why can't we write it again?
My question here is $1 is a variable?
No.
No. Can I pass it as a direct value?
I mean, we can pass it like just we are doing for others.
Why we are the difference of fetching a value of normal variable is we'll use dollar and the variable name like number, like characters and many more. If we are trying to get the value of this, like not the value of the variable, instead like sorry, value of the variable itself, we can use the curly braces.
No, but what he's saying is we're already able to pass it just as $1 above, right? In the first line,
Yes.
when I write hello $1, it is
Yes.
automatically replacing. So if I do that now, if here you just do echo $1, what will show?
See, that's what I'm trying to make you understand. Here, we are not passing it as a variable. We are just passing it as a value, like as a key, or let's say like there was some empty spaces, empty variable. If it is in a variable, we won't pass it as a echo. Echo is a printing statement.
Right. Right.
Yeah, you are saying that why can't we pass just $1?
Correct. Yeah.
The example, like execute state. If we pass this, that is echo $1, even though if you're getting this akshat as my value, okay, what if in case I have the same akshat in multiple places?
As in, sorry, I didn't get that. What?
Okay, so here I'm saying echo $1, that is a value of this first command line argument, right? So it is going to return me what? It is going to return me akshat. So this is very simple, like from this line we can understand, okay, it is going to return me the akshat. Now, how to identify if there are multiple akshat?
Not sure.
How array works? Tell me that. If I say a 0, this is 0. So will it get me multiple values of like 1, 2, and 3, or only the one value?
Only the one value, right?
If I say if I say curly braces and $1, should it return one value or multiple value? It's not like your answer is wrong or something. Your answer is correct that it is going to return me the value that is akshat. So what I'm trying to prove here is if we have some multiple name, like in a classroom, we might have this with the same name, multiple peoples. Correct. So when we call for a person, we need to identify the person with an initial also. Right.
Right.
So I'm just making sure that I'm going to return the same value that I needed here, not like multiple values. Okay.
Yeah.
Out. Now, okay, these are like till now what we did within a script, we have passed the value. Then, like within the script, we just declared a variable. Let's say like we declared a variable through the command line. We passed the value. Okay, two things we have done. Now that is not the normal scenario. Normal scenario is user is going to enter the value and it is going to be fetched and it has to be returned. Right. This is the normal scenario which is currently in trend. Correct. Let's say read values. If I say echo to your name, here if I say read name, so name is like a variable. So read is the command that is going to take the input of the user. So I will say again echo hello name. So it is going to take this value, print it here. Learning bash script. So just a simple comments like I'm just mentioning what is your enter your name. I will be passing the name and printing that name, saying that you are going to learn the bash script. So let's say Akshat again. It will take that value, print it. Is this part clear? Taking the values from the end user. Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now this is just a single value. Now, what if in case if I want to pass multiple values, like, an user will not have just a name. He will be having the first name and the last name, right? So let's take that. So I will say we read first name. Instead of name here, I will say wait a minute. Okay, so the same thing, same command we are going to use, that is your last name. So just putting a sentence, that's all. Last name. So I'm just, I'll say something like A. Now B space. So your B heard that your last name is C. This is like a first name. This is the first name that it is taking through the input user, and it is going to print the username. That's the last name. Okay. Is this clear to everyone?
Yeah. Can you also teach how to take input as an array, maybe?
Yep. I guess that is too far for now. So because tomorrow we are going to deep dive into the same concepts, but in depth. Like we have the scripting basics, operations, conditional statements. So we will be looking into that. So in that, I guess we have the example for, we'll be explaining the example for arrays also, since we have arrays here. Okay. And one more concept which I wanted to explain for today is the passing the username and password. As I discussed earlier, like we are going to pass it in a separate file, right? So let's look how normally, like, let's say credentials.sh. Okay, and I'll say echo. This is a normal radius and echo are okay. Just a revisit to the previous concept. If I want to fetch the value, what is the command that I need to pass here?
If you need to do what?
Let's say like I
Read.
want, yeah, read.
Okay.
Here we have to pass it as an argument. Okay, so the argument is -p. Let's say this is my username. The username is something, and the same way read -secret password. Okay, I'm going to say this is just an username. Okay, I'm do is echo or okay, so I'll just print some statement on this. And if I want to print the normal use case scenario, like if I want to print my either username and password, what is the command that I need to pass? My statement is your password is this. How to get to know, okay, what is the password? Can I pass $password? Yes, no.
Not sure.
Yeah. Okay. Now, okay, one more question on this. Let me just change the. What is the normal scenario? Like when we let's say, like let's take Facebook or Gmail, any of the platform. So if you're going to pass your username password, so what are the what is your observation on that?
It's encrypted, like you can't read it. It comes in
Mhm.
log encrypted form basically.
Okay, you meant to say username is visible and the password is not visible, like it will come in a stars or dotted.
Correct, yeah.
Now, with respect to shell script, it is very similar to that, but here quite a small changes. It will not display anything for the password. Instead, it will be blank, but you will be typing the password. Once you enter, it will go to that.
Okay.
To that. So let's say like itself. Now I'm typing it, but it is not displaying here. Now it is displaying. Okay, this is how usually the the Linux machines works. Like your password, whatever you're typing, it will not display. Instead, it will be in a blank state so that the other person is not able to view that. That's how secure the Linux machines are.
So what is -p meaning? You said read -p.
Yeah, -p. That's like the username I'm taking. That's just a pattern -p,
Okay,
and this is a secret pattern.
okay. I understood now. Yeah.
So okay, now let's go with the. We just modify the same. So username is this itself. And for password, it's out. Now let me just. Okay. and unset username. Basically, what here we're trying to achieve here is the usual one. Like whenever we pass the password, we get the asterisk symbol or the star symbol, right? That we are trying to achieve here. So I need to pass this as unset username and unset password. For username, it is going to take the normal one, but for the password, let's say echo. Enter your password, and that is now to read the password. So reading the password. So here I will say the character count. While IFS is equal to read -p. So prompt me dollar prompt -read -secret number of characters 1. Okay, while doing this, you have to do, let's see, enter to accept the password. So I'll say if condition, if my value, that is a $ch value, is equal to this much is enough, I guess. Is equal to whatever the value that I'm going to pass. So it is going to take that. So unset this, unset that. So let's just check. So username, as I discussed. Okay. Conditional binary operator line number 19. Okay. Hmm. Just a minute, it is getting hanged. 1 minute. Let's see if I can. Okay. Basically, it is getting hanged. I'm not sure why. Okay, it is not executing, but we'll look into that later. So any like so far any doubts on the any questions on shell script? We just looked few of it, like we haven't started with the operators, loops, functions. We just looked one example. We have to look into we just started with the scripting basic, like how to write a file. What are all things that can be achievable within the file? So that's all we have done for now. So okay, and these files I will be sharing this. You'll be receiving over the mail also. You can execute in your machine. You can check, and this can be executed using your PowerShell also. You don't need to have a Linux machine as of now. Is that fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you have any questions, you can let me know, or else I will be giving some few lab, so where you can practice on this and you can start by tomorrow, like, have a good overview on this.
Bala, could you share the schedule as well as the
Yeah, I have asked.
schedule that you mentioned?
Yeah, I have checked it. Like it's pretty old one. You will be receiving over the mail by end of the day.
Okay, got it. And what about this? On our Friday thing, you had told us about this materials that there will be some portal, so that
Yeah.
will also come by mail.
Yeah, that will be available by tomorrow.
Okay, got it.
Also, Bala, the scripts that you just wrote now, could we also have a copy of that just so that as reference when we're doing the labs, we can have a
Yeah,
reference to how we do it?
Yeah, this I will be sharing with you also.
Yeah, can you just put it on the chat so then be easily accessible for us?
Okay,
Like
just give me. I will share it right now itself. Just give me.
Thank you, Bala.
Okay, I will do one thing. Let me create a drive so you can daily take a copy of. Just give me 2 minutes. I will create and I will send you the link. You can access it. Okay. I'm sorry, like one of you share your screen. I want to check whether you're able to access the file or not. I've just shared a link. Just open this link, it will automatically go to that. Who is going to share the screen?
Yes, Bala, we can access it. We can access the file.
Able to access, right, everyone?
Yes, Bala.
Okay,
Yes, Bala, we can access it.
thank you. So if you have any doubts, we can continue, or else we'll be winding up and we'll be connecting tomorrow. And for tomorrow, okay, so basically you have to understand the shell script because we'll be deep diving into that concept. So just go through some online documentation regarding to understanding the basic shell script. All right, so that you can have a touch on it, and we can also start moving forward with the fast pace. All right. Fine.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you, team. Have a great evening. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you. Oh, everyone left. Anyone available? Anyone there? Just put a voice.
Yeah.
Okay. Just give me a minute. Like, I just wanted to ask, like, you guys have created any group, like WhatsApp group?
We can just create one and we could add you to it, is it?
Yeah, and like why I wanted to ask is like if something that is important, like if we wanted to share some link or like feedback from something like that, we can quickly share it over the WhatsApp group or something.
Yeah, so you can just put your number here. We'll create a new group and add you to it.
Okay, all right. Let me just-
Yeah.
This is my number. Okay, then we can wind it up and we can meet it tomorrow. Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you.